India's growing population is fast turning into the latest political flashpoint. After Uttar Pradesh, the clamour is now growing in other states to bring in a population control law. But the politics over the proposed draft continues to rage on. NDA ally and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has dismissed the idea of a law, saying population can only be controlled through awareness. The Congress, meanwhile, is calling this Yogi's poll propaganda.
What's India's biggest problem? Population. What's stopping India from top-speed progress? Population. And what's the new fiery flashpoint on India's political battlefield? You guessed it, population. And the seed of this new flashpoint, Yogi Adityanath's Uttar Pradesh, has just gotten a whole lot bigger.
It will be better that he must listen to the BJP people and make new policies. Two-child policy is there in the state of Maharashtra as well in many states of this country.
सामाजिक समरसता और विकास दोनों के नज़रिए से देख करके इस पर काम करने की ज़रूरत है। इसीलिए योगी जी की सरकार को धन्यवाद देता हूं जो इतना बड़ा कदम उठाने का काम किया है। इसे जात, धर्म, राजनीति, वोट बैंक को अलग करके देखना चाहिए।
The issue has divided the BJP's allies and critics as well. While the JDU sees the solution to India's population explosion as awareness and education, the NCP's Sharad Pawar has gone on record to endorse the need for strict measures to control the country's exploding population.
जनसंख्या नियंत्रण के लिए अगर आप सिर्फ कानून बना करके कोई उसका उपाय करेंगे, ये सभी ठीक से संभव नहीं है। जब महिलाएं पूरे तौर पर पढ़ी रहेंगी तो इतनी जागृति आती है, इतना कॉन्शसनेस होता है कि अपने आप प्रजनन दर घटेगा। तो हम लोग तो इसी पर काम कर रहे हैं।
The politics has ensured that the issue becomes a major theme in the run-up to the UP elections in early 2022. Significantly, the flashpoint is rapidly becoming a national theme. After Uttar Pradesh and Assam proposed Hum Do Hamare Do policies to discourage large families, more states are nodding in approval. The BJP's big southern bastion of Karnataka has expressed interest in such a population control model.
Now, with limited resources available, it's left to be seen if the government of Karnataka can bring all sections of society together to control its population. But it's not going to be an easy task.
Apart from Karnataka, there's a growing chorus for a population control policy in Madhya Pradesh as well.
BJP MLA Rameshwar Sharma has written to Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan demanding that a law on population control be made. He has called the increasing population of the state as a cause of concern and an impediment to the overall growth of the state.
इस देश की बहुत बड़ी समस्या आबादी है और जनसंख्या नियंत्रण को लेकर कानूनी परिधि में ये विषय जरूर आना चाहिए और उसको कानून की परिधि में लाकर यदि हम काम करेंगे तो निश्चित रूप से उसका लाभ इस देश की भावी पीढ़ी को होगा।
The big push for population control from BJP-led governments have come in for attacks from all across.
मकसद भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जनसंख्या को नियंत्रण करना नहीं है, सिर्फ लोगों को भटकाना है। क्योंकि जब चुनाव सामने आ गया, उत्तर प्रदेश में 6 महीने बच रहे हैं चुनाव में, तब हमारे वहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री योगी जी को जो ये इस बात का ध्यान आया।
One thing is certain, population politics just became one of the big buzzwords in India as it cruises into another election season. Bureau Report, India Today.
According to data put out by the National Family Health Survey in 2015-16, India's current total fertility rate is at 2.2, whereas in Uttar Pradesh it's 3.1. So in Uttar Pradesh, the average number of kids every couple is having is 3.1. So now that's what Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, wants to cap at 2. And as was the case with the Love Jihad law, which first came in Uttar Pradesh, other BJP ruled states are jumping at the idea and following the Yogi's lead. Is this a good idea given our population explosion and our need to ensure that population is restricted so that scarce resources are more equally available? Or is this just being done with an eye on next year's assembly elections? Joining me on this broadcast, I want to welcome first Rakesh Sinha, a Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He introduced a private member's bill which suggests that people with more than 2 children be debarred from being chosen as MPs, MLAs or member of any local self-government body. KC Tyagi is the General Secretary of the Janata Dal United, whose Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said that this is the wrong approach. The right approach is to ensure that women are empowered, and many people wondering why just women. It's a decision a couple needs to take together, so why this attitude which puts the onus only on women? We have with us Dr. K.S. Jain, Director of the Population Sciences Institute, and we have Ghanshyam Tiwari, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. I want to go across to Dr. Rakesh Sinha first for his take on why this population control bill is a good idea. Why do you think that this shouldn't be linked to next year's assembly elections? Why do you feel that the law being brought by the Yogi Adityanath government in Uttar Pradesh is what UP needs, also what other states should be looking at closely? Rakesh Sinha.
Rahul, this discourse on, or I rather you say the population discourse is not new. It's since 1970s. And for the last 2.5 decades, the discourse has been victim of the communal politics and communal allegations, counter allegations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a very critical and decisive intervention when from the Red Fort he said something which is very rational and scientific, that we should see the balance between the population and the resources. That is a very decisive intervention which lifted the discourse from the communal zone to a secular zone. I am giving one example. Rather than going to here and there is a international parameter, that is a global hectare. The global hectare is a ratio between the population and the resources. That is known as a global hectare. And what we consume, that is known as ecological footprint. So in India, we consume 112 global hectare per person. And which is regenerated, the things we consume, that is regenerated by the earth. That is known as the biocapacity. That is 0.45. So difference between the biocapacity and the ecological footprint is 148%. If that statistics is not latest, it is 2014. So already we are 7 years gap between this statistics. If we go by this process, after a few decades, there would be dearth of resources for our survival. This is the international parameter, a study by by social scientists and those who study demography and population. So therefore, I consider that entire debate is based on 2 premises. One, that there should be a stability in population. So everybody agree. Even Nitish Kumar ji rightly said that we should create awareness. We have been creating awareness since 1970s, and we have been successful partially. But at this juncture, when out of 621 districts, 174 districts had the fertility rate 2.1 plus, and 72 districts have fertility rate, total fertility rate is 4 plus. That is very alarming. So our population has reached to the juncture where the average is very delusionary. When you say 1.8%, 2%, that is very delusionary, because it is just like that one person got 90%, other person got 30%, the average is 60%. That is not true.
Okay.
In the case of India, the northern states like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh have a higher rate of fertility rate.
Ghanshyam Tiwari, the fact is that states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar do indeed have higher fertility rates. In Uttar Pradesh, it's 3.1. In Bihar, it's 3.2. And therefore, the BJP argues that given scarce resources, it is time that India cap population at hum do, hamare do. Don't link this with polls. Don't think of this as communal. This is in India's larger national interest.
My connection is poor as I'm traveling, but if you can hear me, I'll make 2 quick points. One, that in February 2020 last year, this government, Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, the then Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, informed the Parliament that the national population policy that implemented in 2000 onwards is working fantastically well in the country. Then again in December, in the Delhi High Court, this government again said that the national population policy that this government has implemented in response to Ashwini Bajwa's petition is working perfectly. We do not believe in coercion, we believe in the systems that are put in place. Finally, in February 2021,
once again this government, PIB put out a release saying that how the national population was in
how the total fertility rate has declined, how various states have reached their replacement rate, all those things. So the Uttar Pradesh government clearly chooses to contradict Mr. Modi. The question is why?
Okay, so you're calling this a contradiction because the government's claiming the policy is working well. Then why do you need to bring a new law? KC Tyagi, can you spell out the Janata Dal United's objections? I must say there are a lot of people, sir, who are not happy with your Chief Minister's comments, putting the onus on women. It's a joint decision for the couple to take how many children they wish to have. And Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister of Bihar, seemed to suggest that we need to create more awareness for women. Why not equally for men as well, sir?
राहुल जी, मैं 12 मार्च 2018 का एक बयान है नीतीश जी का, बिहार सीएम वरीड ओवर पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ रेट, और उसके बाद ही उसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में उन्होंने कहा है lack of education for women and girls was the main cause for high population growth rate. और उसके बाद फिर उन्होंने कहा कि गवर्नमेंट हैज डिसाइड टू सेट अप वन हाई स्कूल इन ईच ग्राम पंचायत फॉर सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन. तो जो उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, जो बैकवर्ड एरियाज़ हैं जहाँ से हमारे मित्र राकेश जी भी आते हैं और घनश्याम जी भी, वहाँ पे चाहे हिंदू पॉपुलेशन हो या मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन, जो गरीब लोग हैं उसमें जो प्रजनन दर है, जो फर्टिलिटी रेट है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. इसलिए, और मैं एक चीज़ और आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ, 2018 में स्पेनिश फ्लू जब आया था तो 2021 में हिंदुस्तान की आबादी सबसे कम हुई है, पहली बार, सबसे कम पहली बार 1918 तो 1921 में, और पहली बार द मोमेंट वी आर टॉकिंग टू ईच अदर, पिछले 100 सालों में हिंदुस्तान की जो आबादी है आज फिर कम हो रही है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल के जो प्रयास हैं वो बंद होने चाहिए. उत्तर प्रदेश का जो बिल है, जिसको भी कानून बनना है, उसमें जो इंसेंटिव दिए गए हैं, मैं उनकी प्रशंसा करता हूं, उनकी तारीफ करता हूं. बल्कि मैं तो चाहता हूं कि इस बिल के अंदर 15% सरकारी नौकरियां उत्तर प्रदेश में, प्रमोशन 15%, गवर्नमेंट प्रिविलेजेस उन लोगों के लिए सुरक्षित कर दिए जाएं जिनके बच्चे सिर्फ 2 होंगे. लेकिन इसमें जो इन्होंने बार किया है, डिबारिंग फ्रॉम द बेनिफिट, इसकी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. मैं इमरजेंसी में जेल रह चुका हूं और मैंने कांग्रेस पार्टी का जुल्म जाति, राहुल जी, देखी है किस तरह से दूल्हे को भी घोड़े से उतार करके उसका स्टेलाइजेशन कर दिया था. तो जो डीएम और एसएसपी होंगे, जो एजेंसीज हैं इसको फैलाने वाली योगी जी की, वो पैसे ले लेकर के किस जुल्म जाति के साथ अपनी संख्या बढ़ाएंगी, आज हमने ये कर दिया वगैरह वगैरह. तीसरा मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, आपके इसमें जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है और आप इंटरनेशनल बहुत तरह की चीज़ों से जुड़े रहते हो, एक इंटरनेशनल आपका वो भी है, हल्फनामा वो भी है आपका, जिसमें आपने कहा कि जबरन नहीं करेंगे हम. तो ये जो कानून हैं ये जबरन तरीके के कानून हो जाएंगे जैसे हम लोगों ने इमरजेंसी में दिए थे. ये सही है कि जो खाद्य सुरक्षा है वो इस समय पूरी दुनिया को परेशान किए हुए है. हर मिनट में 11 लोग इस धरती के लोग कम हो रहे हैं, मर रहे हैं भूख की वजह से. और FAO ने कहा है कि इसका असर साउथ एशिया पे, जिसके हम हिस्से हैं, इस पर भी पड़ेगा. अगर देश के किसानों ने इतना अनाज पैदा ना किया होता और 80 करोड़ लोगों को हमारी सरकार भूखे लोगों को ना खिला रही होती तो स्टारवेशन डेथ हमारे देश में भी हुई होती. लिहाजा इसको मानते हुए, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार के मसौदे को सभी वर्गों के साथ, सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के साथ सलाह मशवरा करके तैयार करना चाहिए.
Don't push this through. Have a consensus. Try and build a consensus. Have a conversation. Dr. James, we leave the politics aside for a moment, looking at it purely in terms of data, statistics, and academics. Do you believe India at this moment requires a population control bill? Do you think what Uttar Pradesh is doing will help the national cause or hurt it?
Definitely. Population concerns are always there in India, and therefore I think any attempt, whether it in terms of policies, in terms of action, or addressing those concerns are always welcome. But the question is that how do we address this concern? Because if you really look at last 20 years, there has been a substantial decline in the fertility rate in India, almost you can say at 2% per annum. 2% per annum decline is not small at any stretch of imagination. Even in Uttar Pradesh, even in Rajasthan, it has been more than 2% per annum last 20 years. So it means that actually there has been substantial progress in the fertility transition process in the country, irrespective of whether you are in South or whether you are in North. And also, if you really look at the history, Rahul, I think there has been several policies has been adopted. Often, we speak about the increasing controlling population through education, through awareness programs. That is one approach which we have adopted. But the second approach has always been emphasis on the delivery of services, especially the family planning services. I think that is where most part of the country has shown very substantial progress. I think that is where actually the fertility has declined in many parts of the country, irrespective of region, irrespective of caste, irrespective of socioeconomic standing. It has declined in many parts of the country. So it means that actually effective delivery of services, providing services at the doorsteps of the families, I think that is the best way to
Let
approach
Rakesh Siddha respond, because I'm looking at data put out by the Niti Aayog which says that in 2006 in Uttar Pradesh alone, the fertility rate per woman was 4.2. It's come down over 10 years to 3.1. And if you look at the national figures as well, the current projection suggests that the total fertility rate could come down maybe as much as 2.1 by in the next few years. And if that were to happen, questions will be asked about whether there is a need for a law at all, because the point that Dr. James makes is try and improve the door-to-door delivery of family planning services, create awareness. That's a better approach rather than trying to mandate a cap by law.
Rahul, those who belong to villages and rural area, they know that how much publicity has been done. I was a small child when I saw on the walls, वो पीले रंग का लिखा रहता, हम दो हमारे दो, उसकी फोटो बने रहते थे, त्यागी जी इसके गवाह होंगे. और I really say that Indira Gandhi had done a lot of work in publicizing that, and successive governments have done. We have partial success, but our population has reached to a stage when I can say it is a volcano. By 2050, if it goes on, then we will be the most populous state in the nation in the world. We have 2% land of the entire globe, and we have 17% population. So therefore, it's not a question of coercion. It's a question of bringing the replacement level. And I said that average is always delusionary. When 72 districts are reporting that 4+ total fertility rate, 174 districts are reporting 2.1 plus fertility rate. This means some people are producing 1 child, 2 child, and certain people are producing 9 child or 8 child or 6 child. So burden on the resources of the state is not a question of community, it's not a question of region, it is a question of national, it is a national problem. So we have to address in that manner. Why if and but? No, it is going down, so we should not make a law. So where we are reaching, how much we can achieve by awareness program, how much we can achieve by such optimism, by delivering the things at the doorstep, not going to achieve. What I mentioned in my bill, that is very significant, the moment my bill becomes a law, enacted, since then 18 months I am giving gestation period, where no coercive aspect would be applicable to anybody. These 18 months would be used for campaign, because law would be a medium for a better campaign to the people, reaching to the people who are misguided by some people, who are in delusion that no, growing population is not a danger, or who are in confusion. So, or who are unaware of all these things. We can use school, colleges, publicity,
Rakesh
media.
Sinha makes the point, don't look at averages, because averages throw up a distorted picture. there are families that are skewing the average by having 6, 8, 9, 10 children, and therefore a cap is required because it puts the onus equally on all families rather than having those with fewer children having to pay for those with many more.
So now let's assume that Yogi government is much smarter than Modi government and they have decided to contradict the central government's policy. Let's assume that. Then they
are more smarter and they are putting out a policy. There must be a foundation. There must be a Niti Aayog paper. There's a RSS paper, Rakesh Sinhaji's paper. There's no paper. There's no paper that says that these measures will reach to this target. Let us also assume that they have created a best policy. Then they have a foundation of execution. If you take out from dustbin their own Sankalp Patra of 2017, it's a 32-page document. Not a single page has been implemented in 4.5 years. A government that did not implement what they promised in 4.5 years is coming out with policy. What do they want? It's a bad policy without a paper, contradicting center, which they cannot implement. They want the charcha, they want headline management, they want propaganda, they want a conversation, a confusion that this is what they are doing and how they can find voices that will enable them, the OSC versus Adityanath voices.
How do you respond to this, Rakesh Sinha, the charge that this is being done with an eye on next year's elections? No. Because things between India and Pakistan are relatively peaceful because China is on the border. You can't make next year's elections about Pakistan bashing and therefore population is the new dog whistle which you intend to lay out during the campaign.
We don't bother for all such parties which lack the base and the erosion of base they are facing. So BJP is not perturbed by the Samajwadi Party or BSP or Congress Party. What I want to say that this population discourse is not new. And when I introduced the bill, it was 2019, there was no UP election and I am a BJP member. When Prime Minister said from the Red Fort, that was not the time of election. If you are connecting everything with the election, then you kindly accept the Prime Minister's idea that one nation, one election. You will say no, this is against the parliamentary democracy. This is undemocratic. When the law would be implemented, some programs would be launched, then you will say that it is connected with the election. There is no time in this country. At every juncture, every month, there is some election, either Telangana or Assam or Bihar or UP. Then nothing can be done because there is election. So this is a very ridiculous argument. What I want to say that population discourse is not connected with the BJP, Congress, Communist or any other party. It is a national consensus and I am happy that nobody is saying that population is not at a volcanic stage. Nobody is saying that it is very bisfotak nahi hai. You can talk to the people. Even the Muslim segment, a large number of Muslim intellectuals are now supporting. So I am happy that Prime Minister's approach that you should connect the resources and the population is being accepted by across the extent of the society. And I'm asking that you go to villages and ask a common man, there should be a population policy, there should be law. He or she will say yes. So I think that those who are opposing, they are living in the old world where there was a communal discourse on population, that it is against the Muslim, it is the RSS wants to stop the Muslim population. No, nothing like that. If the law would be from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Jain, Buddhist, Parsi, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, for everybody. So it is a replacement level to hum do hamare do. The old slogan of Indira Gandhi we are accepting. It is nothing like that Indira Gandhi ji or Narendra Modi ji. In national interest, kindly support the central law for each and every part of the nation. And those who are saying that
states like Gujarat, states like Karnataka, ये अभी से कह रहे हैं कि हमें भी ऐसा लॉ लेके आना है. अगर आबादी पे नियंत्रण का ये कानून आता है तो आपके हिसाब से नुकसान क्या है? बिकॉज आप अभी एनडीए के एलाय हैं, आपके चीफ मिनिस्टर इस तरह के कानून को अपोज कर रहे हैं. आपके हिसाब से क्या नुकसान है जिन पर हमें चर्चा करनी चाहिए?
नहीं राहुल जी, आपने उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन गलत कर दिया. ये तो राकेश जी भी नहीं मानते हैं कि हम अपोज कर रहे हैं. नीतीश कुमार इज ऑन रिकॉर्ड ऑन सेइंग मेकिंग ओनली लॉ टू कंट्रोल पॉपुलेशन वोंट बी सफिशिएंट. सिर्फ अकेले कानून बनाने भर से काम नहीं चलेगा. तो ये तो राकेश जी भी मानेंगे, आप भी मानेंगे कि जो अवेयरनेस है वो तो आपको फिर भी पैदा करनी पड़ेगी, या फिर इमरजेंसी टाइप करेंगे राकेश जी आप जिसका जिक्र कर रहे हैं. दूसरा ये है कि जो यूपी का बिल है ये राकेश जी जल्दबाजी में लाया जा रहा है. ये आपका जो केंद्र सरकार का सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हलफनामा है 2020 का दिसंबर महीने का, ये उसके भी खिलाफ. उसमें आपकी सरकार ने, केंद्र सरकार ने माना है कि इसको कंपलसरी वाला जो है इसके हम पक्ष में नहीं हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि हम इंटरनेशनल ट्रीटी से बंधे हुए हैं, इसलिए भी हम नहीं कर सकते। और सबसे बड़ी बात जो कही है स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने, उसने कहा है कि जो फर्टिलिटी रेट है उसमें लगातार गिरावट आ रही है। 2001 से 2021 के सेंसस डाटा के मुताबिक पिछले 21.54 था और 2001 से 2021 के बीच में 17.6 हो गया है। तो जब केंद्र सरकार खुद मानती है कि जबरन की ज़रूरत नहीं है, जब वो खुद मानती है कि फर्टिलिटी रेट कम हो रहा है, तो फिर ऐसी जल्दबाजी में बिल लाए हैं। तो किस किस पार्टी से, आप तो कई कमेटी के मेंबर हैं, मैं भी 2 दर्जन कमेटी का मेंबर रहा हूं, कितनी कौन सी कमेटी के सामने गया है, कहां डिस्कशन हुआ है, सब पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से डिस्कशन कीजिए, नंबर 1 बहुत जो जरूरी है। और आप अपनी वीएचपी के नेताओं को रोकिए, फॉर गॉड सेक, चूंकि काफ़ी प्रधानमंत्री का एम्बेरसमेंट वो करा चुके हैं, साध्वी प्रज्ञा हैं। प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा मैं कभी माफ़ नहीं करूंगा जब उन्होंने नथुराम गोडसे की तारीफ की थी, वो बयान दे रही हैं। एक इनके अपने जो मेरे मित्र हैं घनश्याम तिवारी, इनकी पार्टी के एक नेता शफीकुर रहमान, कि तो अल्लाह मियाँ का हुक्म है, बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं। तो ये जो कम्युनलाइजेशन दोनों तरफ से, और एक तरफ से नहीं है। खाली राकेश जी की पार्टी को दोष मत दीजिए, आपकी पार्टी के नेता ने क्यों बयान दिया, उसको कोई नोटिस जारी हुआ? तो डोंट मेक फॉर गॉड सेक। और दूसरा मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ राहुल जी, आपका आधा मिनट लेने के लिए, कि 220% से जहां पर मुस्लिम आबादी है, ऑन रिकॉर्ड है ये, लक्षद्वीप में 96% आबादी है मुसलमानों की, वहां प्रजनन दर 1.4 है। जम्मू कश्मीर में 68% है, वहां 1.4 है। आसाम में 34% है, वहां 1.7% है। पश्चिमी बंगाल में 27% मुस्लिम है, 1.6 है। और हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में 20% मुस्लिम है, यहाँ पे 2.4 है। तो ये कोई हिंदू मुसलमान कभी नहीं बचा जो वीएचपी के नेता या समाजवादी पार्टी के एमपी ने बयान दे दिया।
Let Dr. James respond to that contentious question. Is there a correlation with religion? Because data suggests that Muslim couples tend to have more children than Hindu couples. According to data which I have accessed from the National Family Health Survey, 2.61 children for every Muslim family in 2015-16 versus 2.13 for every Hindu family. So there is about a 0.5% gap. That is the reality at this moment, and that is something that we cannot contest or can be.
Yeah, that we always find actually, whether it is by religion or whether it is by caste or whether it is by region, we always found there is differences in fertility rate levels. So Muslim fertility is slightly higher than Hindus, and southern fertility is lower than north, and all these kinds of differences are found. I think, Rahul, most important is that what is the rate of decline? If you really look at the rate of decline among Hindus and among Muslims or even many other caste groups or religious groups in India, we say rate of decline is almost similar. It means that they have started at a higher level, but the rate is, the differences is not widening, it is only narrowing. So it indicates that every sections of the society, the fertility transition is evident in this country. I think that is how the fertility levels or the data should be viewed. Let me also, Rahul, tell me the last point, because it's also important to understand that most of the fertility or the births in India right now is not because of very high fertility rate in many parts of the country. It is because of the past high fertility. That is why the population growth will happen irrespective of the fact that there is a fertility transition, we reach replacement level. 2.1 is the replacement level. But despite that fact that the population growth will continue for the next 20 or 30 years. So even with our best efforts, we would also, our population growth will be taking place at least for the next 30 to 40 years. So that's why we expect that only by 2050 to 60, there can be a stabilization in the population growth, while the fertility will be declining throughout this period.
So net, the fertility rates are coming down. Now whether an active intervention will help speed up the process of reducing fertility, or will it have an adverse consequence, is really the matter at this moment of a public debate. The academic view is better awareness, better door-to-door delivery of health services is a better approach rather than a legal approach. But then there's also a big election, and this is the kind of topic that generates a big conversation, polarizes opinion, and given what happened with the previous bill on love jihad, you can be certain that other BJP states will also then try and lap this idea up and try and push it in their states as well. For the time being, Dr. Rakesh Sinha, KC Tyagi, Ghanshyam Tiwari and Dr. James for joining me on the News Track. Thank you very much. I'm slipping into a quick break right now. When we come back, Navjot Singh Sidhu's reverse sweep on praising up